back to Tail 3 Cabins. Just a quick little video. I want to cover some new things going on with JD here. Last you've probably seen JD, we were down in southern Ohio for quite a while. I had it down there a good part of September and most of the month of October. We got a lot of things done down there, cleared a lot of paths with it. We also got it stuck in the process. A little perseverance, we got it out and everything was okay. And I don't know if you remember when it did get stuck, I was using the bucket to try to get myself out. And I've had a little issue with the right pin on the loader bucket itself, where I lost a little cable attachment for that pin itself. It broke a while back and I just had like a little chain hanging on there, and periodically that chain would come off. Something happened where I think the pin was hanging down. I was switching out implements back and forth and not, hooking the pin up because it wasn't necessary. And I believe I ruined the integrity of the ring itself on the pin, so it just did not seat properly. Something that you really can't manipulate or try to bend back with pliers or even your bare hands. It's just a weird thing where I think it bent out of shape. So the pin was falling out periodically, and it did fall out when we were in the process of trying to get unstuck on that one section of property where we were getting ready to put up a new ladder stand.
The pin came out.
Can you get around it now?
No, we lost the bucket.
The pin came out.
There's a pin. You're still on the other side there, yeah.
You're gonna have to set the bucket down and take it off and reattach it. Yeah.
So I ordered a new pin. I went down to the dealer. They did have them in stock. Swapping it out wasn't too bad. I did need a needle nose to get the old pin out. And then needle nose pliers again to install the new one. I installed the pin, got it on there, and it works perfectly. And I'll try to be disciplined and put those pins in the pin holders when I'm changing out implements in the front. But you may have gotten a notice in the mail, and I thought I'd bring this up because I did have to go down to the dealer to pick up that pin. But in September, I got a recall notice about a problem with the brake pedal itself. And I had heard some rumblings about it on some of the other forums, and I had been asked about it in the comment section on a couple other videos, and I thought I would just touch upon this right now. So I got this notice in September. October, I went to the dealer to get that pin, and while I was up there, I thought I would ask them about this. And they basically said that they were waiting for the parts to come in, that when the parts come in, that they will give me a call. So I did get a call in the middle of October that said that the parts were in. It was from a dealer that's a little bit farther away, and they said that they would be scheduling this tractor in the coming weeks.
Pro North Royalton.
Hi, I was just curious, there's a recall on my tractor, and I got a call about a month or two ago about setting something up, and then I never got a call back, and I'm just curious where that's at.
Yeah, what model is it?
It's the 1025R for the brake pedal.
Okay, yeah, so parts have been made. We're just waiting them to be shipped. So all we can do is just let our customers know to keep calling us every month or so and check in. Once we do have the parts, though, we'll get the machine in here and we'll get the repair done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think it was the Worcester store that called me, and then I said that you guys were closer to me. And
okay. Yeah, none of our ag pros have gotten any of the parts yet, so we're just waiting on them to ship them out.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thanks.
No problem. You have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye. I haven't got that call yet, but I asked him if I'm going to have to bring the tractor in myself or how this is going to work, and basically he said that they'll send somebody out. It's not a big deal to change. It's under here. It's basically right underneath where the brake pedal is, underneath, and it'll be a piece of metal. And the recall notice tells you not to use the tractor, or it tells you that it's possible that could break and that you're going to lose your brakes. And when I think about all the things I've been doing with the tractor, especially down in southern Ohio, a lot of steep hills down there, a lot of steep inclines, A lot of people say they don't use their brakes that often because they have the hydrostatic pedals on the tractor, and that's usually enough braking for them that they rarely touch the brake. But in Southern Ohio, I use the brake all the time. But I'm hoping that we get it taken care of soon. So this recall notice is for tractors that are basically manufactured, the 1025Rs, 1020E, and the 2025R from 2018 to 2022. These could have been sold in between November 2017 and July of 2024. So if you have one of those tractors, you are affected by it. I'm assuming you've heard about it by now or got something in the mail. But I thought I would just touch upon that if you haven't done anything about it yet. According to our dealer, that they're going to come out and do it, so you don't have to worry about loading your tractor up on a trailer and taking it up to the dealer and have that changed.
We were heading out the other morning, and the amount of water here backed up is very unusual. So there definitely looks like there's a clog. Looks like a lot of leaves have washed down from the upper part of the road. And I think it's going to be a case for JD to come out here. It is exhausting on the other side, but it should be exhausting more water than that. Now this is a little bit of a tricky area. There is a shutoff for gas line right in this area. Also, I don't want to mess up my corrugated pipe that goes underneath the driveway. It'd be very easy to tear that up with the backhoe. And lastly, there are two underground pipelines that run up and down our street here, and they're just off. They're probably sitting right below where my tractor is. But anytime you're doing anything out by the road, sure enough, somebody will come and check up to see what you're doing and to see if you got a permit, or they'll supervise you while you are doing some digging. As to not damage my corrugated pipe, I've been putting the bucket well in front of it once it gets underwater, and then I'll slowly move it to the left until I hear it hit, and then I back off about an inch or two. And that one seems to have gotten it. Take a peek inside, and it doesn't look like there's anything that needs to be cleared out inside the pipe itself.
Another thing I want to touch upon is I've had this cab now probably going on 4 years. I think it'll be 4 years come this winter. And when I installed it, everything was good. I don't know if you remember when I was putting the doors on, but the weather stripping, when I was unpacking it, I kind of pulled it away from its glue, and I always had like loose weather stripping. Shortly after I installed the cab, the manufacturer called me and asked me if I was having any issues with the weather stripping, and I said no. I told them about the piece coming loose. And then they said, well, they're changing so he said that they're changing the weather stripping on the doors of this model, that they're making it a little bit better adhesive and not so bulky. And they asked me if I wanted to change out the doors. And I said, no, it wasn't that big of an issue. But throughout the years now, going on 4 years, taking these doors on and off, and 60 70 mile an hour winds while you're towing it on the freeway, this weather stripping was becoming looser and looser. I did buy some glue, tried gluing it a couple times. It helps for a little while. It seemed like a nuisance. And if you look on the other side, the weather stripping is still intact on that door and it's been fine. But it's kind of bulky. And even when it comes to like closing the doors, it's almost like too thick of weather stripping. So what I'm gonna do is I ended up peeling off pretty much all the weather stripping on this door. It's completely empty. Then it makes the door work a lot better. It closes better. It doesn't have that tight feeling. And there is a small little gap now, an air gap, which is not going to affect me too much. But when we installed the blinds up on top of the hill in our Southern Ohio cabin and we put the plexiglass in the windows, I had bought some weather stripping for those windows, and it comes in at about a 1/4 inch thick, and it's got a nice adhesive backing to it. And we stuck it on the windows itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to order some more of that weather stripping. You can get it up to a little over a 1/2 inch thick. And looking through here, it varies on the gap. I mean, it's almost weather tight here on the top, but you can see a little bit of air here. That's probably 3/8 of an inch here. In the back here by the fender, it's almost a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to order the one that's just a hair over a 1/2 inch. And instead of putting it on the door itself, I'm just going to clean up frame of the door and just stick it on that. And I think that'll work out a lot better. And I think I'm going to like that better than the weather stripping that's on the other door. And if it works out good, I'll end up just peeling that other one off. That one's not giving me an issue yet, but I think I'll just take that one off and do the same thing.
Most of the time I will walk our garbage down to the street. Our driveway is about 700 feet long, so it is a good bit of exercise, especially if you have to take a few items back and forth. But today I feel like the tractor should help me out. It's pretty cold outside and I'm a little under the weather, so I thought I would just use the tractor to take my garbage cans down and do it in the warmth of the cab.
And lastly, I've got my truck for about another 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if you remember earlier in the year, we were trying to figure out what we would get for a new pickup truck. My truck is 10 years old. We thought with towing the RV that we wanted something a little bit beefier. This is a 2015 F-150 with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost. And it did a pretty good job. When I was towing our RV, I would drop down to about 8 miles per gallon. And also when you're on the freeway and you get some of that wind coming off of the trucks, or even on a windy day, that it was a little squirrely and not comfortable to be towing the RV, and it's not a very large one to begin with. So I decided that I was due for a change. We did a few tests earlier in the year to see if an F-250 would fit in my garage.
Lost your camera.
and that was really the deciding point if we would lean in that direction or not. So we borrowed one from the dealer, and if you watch that video, sure enough, it was very, very close. It was within 3/4 of an inch. So whatever we order, it's not going to be any taller than what we pulled into the garage. We didn't want any special lift packages or off-road packages on it. Just wanted it to remain somewhat the same height. That truck is going to be coming in about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll be trading in my truck and getting rid of my old 2015 F-150. I'll probably do a video on what I got, what features I got, and just a quick overview video when it comes in. I'll talk about that, but there are some videos I want to do on it in the future. Specifically, we got a generator on there, and I want to do a lot of testing, and I want to do a whole video just on that generator because there's not a lot of information on it, not a lot of information on what the peak wattage is, running wattage. I know what we want to use it for, but can we use it for those things? I'm going to break that down, and then a few other things on the new truck that we got. But I'll give you a brief overview when it comes in, just a summary of everything on it, and then we'll get into details, probably a couple videos down the road, maybe when the weather warms up and if we start traveling with our RV a little bit more, just to cover some things that I could not find answers for, and I think I'm going to have to go out and find those answers for myself. But that's going to do it for today. I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe to these videos. Click on that little bell when you want to know when a new one's coming out, and keep an eye on us. It is cold out here.
It'll get past the wood frame. I don't know about this.